Hi guys, this is Daz. Let me atom the WattbikeAtomZwifter. Okay, so today I've gone full green screen. As you can see behind me, I seem to have blended into the background. Um, Splashed out a little bit of cash just to try to get my setup a little bit more easier and polished. Slowly getting there. So's Christmas, apparently. Um, right, so in this one, what I wanted to do was strip everything right back. So this is pretty much the first time you've got everything set up and you open up Zwift. Hopefully you'll have created an account, otherwise you won't even get to this screen. Within this, there's a few things that you need to look at. So I'm aware that the white cursor doesn't work well on here, so I'm going to try to give you bearings by looking at the screen. So if you look at the very top title screen, in the center you've got paired devices, and over on the left hand side you've got a flashing Bluetooth symbol. That one's flashing at the minute because I'm not currently using my bike, so I am going to be skipping at the bottom when I've explained this screen to you. The one next to it is ANT+. So there's two protocols that the smart bike that you're using will communicate with Zwift. The first one is Bluetooth, the most common one I believe, and the second one is ANT+. Reading some of the other blogs and some of the testimonies really from other people, the ANT+ works quite well I think with laptops, PCs, Macs, but the key to it is that if you've got the ANT+ device plugged in, you've got to try to get the sensor as close as you can to the bike sensor, or the receiver to the bike sensor, which obviously then transmits the signal. There have been some issues. Bluetooth, the only thing I would say to it is to setting that up is really just be careful how many other Bluetooth devices that you've got going on wherever you're doing your bike ride. Things like headsets should be okay. Things like Bluetooth speakers, possibly going to have a bit of difficulty with that. So just try to cleanse, if you like, all the unnecessary Bluetooth stuff that you've got. Generally, my setup, I've got the Apple TV, which is connecting to the Wattbike Atom with Bluetooth. It uses up 2 of the 3 allowed Bluetooth devices, the third one being the remote control, which you've got no option but to have, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to work the Apple TV. And yeah, so there isn't really any issue with that. That also means that I've got a spare Bluetooth channel for the heart rate monitor. So when you do start to pair everything up, you'll see that these the grey areas, power source, speed sensor, heart rate, cadence and controllable, they will all turn to shades of blue. Up in the top right, you've got the cog. I'm going to click on it. So you've got a choice there. If you do have any issues, you can use the Zwift Companion, which is the app that goes onto your smartphone to actually do the pairing for you. And then it'll communicate via the software to Zwift. So that's that. Right, so that's the first screen. You've got the option as well, the bottom right, you can change the language. You can just watch, which means that you just go into almost like a demo kind of version. If you're not pairing anything straight away, it doesn't really make any difference. You can skip, which I'm just going to do now. It gives you a quick warning. You can't ride until you pair a power or a speed sensor. I assure you want to skip pairing. Yes. Okay. Now what you've got is the screens which I spoke about in the last video. I'm just going to go straight in to ride, just so that I can go into the settings screen and go through that a little bit more. Okay, right, so as before, on the Zwifters nearby, bum a name off the list and you'll just start moving along. Okay, actually for this one I'm going to have to go back to me because I need to click on the menu button, which is at the bottom left. Right, so I think I've gone through this before, but I'll go through it again. You've got top left your personal details. You can go in and edit them. I won't click that because you'll see my email address and then everybody will be spamming me. The top right, you've got the stats for the current ride. I haven't gone anywhere yet because I'm not paired, and the grand totals for the whole time that you've been using Zwift. Again, underneath that in the middle section, you've got this ride. So where it says 5 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, what that's saying is that your best watt outputs for those time periods would then appear for this ride. If you were trying to achieve a better than your best, then you will go to this screen and it will tell you straight away whether you're on it or not on it. The key thing here is keep an eye in and keep watching your 20-minute watt best, because that is the thing that decides within Zwift Power what your what category you're going to be in, whether you're going to be in a category E, I think it is for everybody, D, C, B, or A being the highest. Rider score doesn't really count for much. I've got to get 180,000 to get some sort of gift. I don't really know what that is. Over on the central bit, the little map, so these are like mini, I won't say the challenges so much, I think they're just like mini little, well, they are challenges, but you don't really get anything out of them, I believe. So this is just to ride an equivalent of 2,000 kilometers across the length of a virtual map of Italy. You don't actually ride through any of those cities, so it doesn't really relate to anything Italian. Apart from there is an Italian villas part within Wattbike, for instance. You can actually click in that and select different challenges. So you can see that I've completed 2 challenges so far. The first one in the top left, the 100% complete, is the 50,000 meters climbed for your Everest challenge. Not to be confused with the Zwift Tron bike challenge. You climb the 50,000 meters to achieve that that challenge there, climb Mount Everest. It probably took me a couple of months, maybe 2.5 months to get that. But then you have to keep climbing in order to get your Tron bike. I can't remember the exact figure, but it takes ages and ages and ages. On the top right, you see I've completed Ride California, which is 1,284 kilometers. I'm currently on the Italy, and I've no idea what the next one is, and I'm not sure whether that's the last one of all of them, but it's just something that I think, well, I can do that. But if you look at the total kilometers that I've actually travelled, I've only travelled 6,143 kilometers, and I've been at this since April. Right, underneath you've got the power distribution. It's all in black at the minute, but as you start riding and you come back to your menu screen like this, you'll start to see some stats in there. You'll have a look at your heart rate average, your watts average, your watts per kilogram average, and the meters that you've climbed in elevation. Right, on the right hand side then you've got 5 orange buttons, top to bottom, so you can click on workouts. I think I've gone through this before, so these are a number of workouts that you can just jump straight in and have a look. There's some plans that you can actually start doing. You can view any of the plans. You just basically click on any of them. You can flick through and have a look and see what the actual ride looks like, whether or not it's going to be easy, hard, indifferent, or whatever. The plans you can click on, say back to fitness, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, 10 to 12 weeks, an hour a week. So this is you're coming out from a low level of current fitness or maybe an injury. You can actually click on view plan and it shows you that you've got 12 weeks. Now when you enroll, you have the option, if you look at that, it's a 10 to 12 weeks. So if you click on enroll, it'll give you the option. Do you want to keep it at, here we go. Right, so I want to adjust the duration. So currently if I was to enroll on that, it would say it expires on, and it's the American way of writing it, and that's quite spooky, 2/21/2021, right, okay. So if I slide that slider back, there you go, I'm taking off weeks off the end, so now I'm doing it in 11 weeks, now I'm doing it in 10 weeks. So that's the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st of February. Click on cancel. As you do them, you'll start to see all of these programs would then come into play. What you find is you can't just cheat and go to the end. It will lock them out, and it will say for instance, you've started on that one, the up and down. When you enroll on it, it'll say complete this by Sunday, Friday, whatever it is. If this is once a week, it should say complete this by Friday, because it's Saturday today that I'm on. You won't be able to then see that. It'll just be kind of locked. You won't be able to just jump forward and have a look at it. Some of them do have a choice. You can do one or the other. It'll say some of them are optional. So again, just play about with them. They are all right, actually. They're not they're not too kind of boring. You will try and get some benefit out of them, I'm sure. Right, so underneath that you've got badges. I'm not showing off. I haven't got all the badges. I've completed 2 missions. These are the early ones that you get. So if you ride a lap for 3 days in a row, ride a lap for 7 days in a row and 14 days in a row, you're popular, get 10 ride-ons in one ride. Coming down here, you've got riding 10 miles, you rode 40 kilometers, you rode 100. I haven't done 100 miles yet, so that's another one I need to get. Climb out the Zwift 25 times. I haven't done that, but I've climbed it 5 times. You know, it's obviously hard enough. 25 laps of volcano. And then underneath you've got the route achievements. So all of the first ones are all the Watopia routes. As you can see, I've still got the Uber pretzel to complete. Then you've got the London maps. Then you've got the Yorkshire maps. And sorry, here's the New York maps. And then there's the France and the Paris maps. Here's just some extra credits. I'll be showing you checking out Zwift Insider. So there are some hidden ones as well that you don't always see. For instance, 100 kilometers an hour is an extra credit. 800 watts, 900, 1000, 1100, 1200 watts. These are just 2 missions, so they don't come around very often, but sometimes these missions will result in you getting access to a certain piece of kit. And as you can see, I've completed only 1 training plan. Okay, in the garage, you've got the option there of customizing everything. So you start with yourself, give yourself a look, hair, head type, what shape of head you got. They've got beard, goatee, sideburns, mustache. Pick a jersey. So now I ride with the Wattbike jersey. Anybody that does have a Wattbike and doesn't currently have this, you must send a support ticket in to Zwift. You can't unlock it in game, and it doesn't appear in any challenges. You can't win it in a challenge, for instance. So you do have to email them. It shouldn't take that long, but I've heard some stories of it taking about 3 weeks to a month to get it. You just have to keep, dare I say, pestering them. Just say, look, you know, I've got a Wattbike, can I get the Wattbike strip? I think it looks quite cool. So you get a number of them all the way down, then you start to get the lock symbols, and as you can see, these unlock at certain levels. I'm currently at level 30, so I think the last one that I got was this one. You've also got shades, all sorts of different types of shades, so I'm just going to change some of the shades. There you go. When it says new as well, so obviously as I've changed up levels, it's unlocked some new ones. There'll be a badge on one of these somewhere because I haven't tried it. There you go. So it's that one in the top left. So I'm just going to click on it. Right. So that's the level 31. Doesn't look too bad, but as I said, I'm on a Wattbike. So now when you go back, there are no new symbols. Shoes. Again, none of these make any difference. It's just for aesthetics. Gloves as well. For those of you that ride a lot up Alpe Zwift, you'll end up with loads and loads of pairs of gloves when you get to the top, which is quite annoying. What you do want apparently is the lightweight Millenstein wheels. Socks. The funny thing about the socks is you can pull them up and pull them down. So why you never want to put it all the way down, so you can't even see the socks. Yeah, dotted ones, stripy ones, plain ones, patterned ones. You get the idea. And headgear. Little flat cap, little orange caps, white skull caps, health safety, all that kind of stuff. Right, that looks a bit alien-esque, I think. So that's the look of the rider. These are the bike and the wheels that you've got. Self-explanatory. Yeah, you go in there, whatever you bought in the garage, which we'll go on to next, will appear in here. Just to explain what these star ratings mean. So the more stars it's got, aero means it is more aero. The more stars it's got, the lighter it is. It's not very clear sometimes. So it's, if it's got 4 stars like these, it's a lightweight wheel. But 2 stars is obviously not as aero as a 4-star. Why would you want a 1-star weight wheel with 4-star aero? I'll give you a clue. When you go downhill, gravity and your recorded weight within Zwift and the weight of your frame determines how fast you go down the hills. So if you're doing a lot of races or time trials where you're going down hills and you've got super light wheels on, you're particularly light and your bike's particularly aero, you ain't going to go down it as quick as somebody who's 20 stone, imagine that, 20 kilograms heavier than you and has got a heavy frame and might be super aero. So the 808, so obviously it's one of the ones that you unlock at certain levels. And then of course in here you've got your frames, all different ones, same star ratings apply for this one. The Tron bike is actually called the Zwift Concept Z1. On the right hand side you can customise it as well, so you can give it a bit of a colour change, which I think is quite a good feature. You've got some random bikes in here. Why, you think, well, why would I ever want to ride that? One aero and one weight, a mountain bike. Well, actually, the mountain bike and the gravel bikes are probably the best two bikes to ride around the jungle, particularly on the sandy bits, the gravelly bits. I have tested it with a couple of different bikes. They do tend to go around faster and faster, do the gravel bikes. Then you've got all the other ones, all the famous names. There you go. Right. So that's that. So that's pretty much everything in the garage. In fact, the last thing I will show you in there is the drop shot, which I've gone into previous video, I believe. So in here you've got different ones, and again, just like in the person kind of customization and the bike itself customization, certain things in here will unlock at certain levels. And just as I'm saying that, okay, every so often my PC just has a bit of a nervous breakdown. Right, so in here, right, that's a new bike. I've never seen that before. That must be an upgrade. Let me have a look. Try and find one else. Okay, they're locked. I can't get them. I'm level 30. That's level 34, for instance. Same thing with the wheels. I can't choose anything other than Zwift wheels because I'm currently looking at the Tron bike. If I had a different bike on it, I'd have different wheel options. It's just a bit of a flaw, I think, in the system. You'll be able to buy any wheels, regardless of what bike you're currently sitting on. And then in settings, right, so in settings, I'm not going to go through it in any great detail here because we've got a power estimation mode there. There's normally a slider on there called trainer difficulty, which I will talk through when I've managed to pair this thing up, so it makes a bit of sense. Usual things, all to do with the audio there. You can have the title music playing or not, so I can knock it off if you can hear it in the background. The game sounds or down. I normally have them quite low because I listen to music. This is a PC, so some of these menu options will be different depending on what you're watching it on. If you're on an iPad or an Apple TV, they'll be slightly different. You've got these things down here as well, which is language filter. I'm not particularly precious about people swearing, so I don't need the language filter on. The workout pain effect. Well, when you're in a workout, sometimes when it gets to the end, it tries to replicate the fact that you might be slightly puffing and out of breath. And then the screen just goes like a heat haze that you'll see when you're walking out on a hot day, and you think, well, what's it doing that for? You think there's a glitch or something with your graphics, and it just puts you off a little bit. If it's not putting you off, leave it on. I don't really see any benefit from it in game, so I just knock that off. Leaderboards as well. What that means is when you finish a race, it will always pull up the leaderboard and it'll stay on that until you click off it. Power display, you can either have an instant power readout for whatever you're doing currently on your Wattbike Atom, if that's what you're on, or Smart Trainer, or you can let it average out over 3 seconds. Again, it just depends what it is you're using it for. All right, so that was everything. I hope that is enough just to get you acclimatized to what the rider menu and the settings and everything else is. As I said, next time I think I'll pair this thing up to my Wattbike, and I might even go and turn my legs on it, so you might not see me on the camera. And then we'll try to come back and have a look at some of these power distributions, and I think probably by my fourth video, I might actually be doing an in-game ride and just talking you through a few of the features and skills that you need to get the hang of. All right, thanks for listening on this this informative video. I hope they've been useful. Please feel free to check out my podcast, which is on anchor.fm/let-me-atom.